Well, hey, bitch. It's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to my channel, honey. You know we got to talk about love and marriage Huntsville, right? So let's get into it. All right, y'all. So we pick up where we left off on 2 weeks ago when Mel came over to see Martell at this construction site of this home or whatnot, and they ended up getting into it. So let's go ahead and talk about that, right? So Mel and Martell outside of the construction house. Martell is telling Mel to stop what she doing. Remember, he was like, stop. But then he got with the SHI, right? So Mel wants them to respect boundaries. Martell tells her to stop talking about him on social media. He also tells her that she has a weak song, okay? And that song crossed the boundary. Now, number one, I don't really like the stance that Martell has. He has the stance where he's ready to square up with a person, with a hand in the hand like this, and you just square up. Like that's something I'll do when, you know what I'm saying, I'm arguing with you, but I'm gonna get ready to swing on you in any moment. So I don't like that stance, okay? What else? He then goes on to tell her that he was like, F you and that weak ass dude or something like that. And I was like, well, wait a minute, F her and them dudes. Like, what? Calm down, all right? So Martell tells us how he saw Mel and her date. And he decided to record them. He said that he wanted to be petty, which is the same way he felt Mel has been petty for so many years. I guess, honey. Now, we then see him yelling at her, telling her that he can be petty whenever he wants. Then calls the guy that she's with a weak ass dude or whatever, or the guy that she was caught out with. Then ask, who is he? And I'm like, sir, she doesn't really owe you an explanation about any of that regarding who he is or who he isn't. That's none of your business at this point. Okay. Martell goes on to say that he will do his mess in person and not on social media because he's not a fake mother. That's what he said, girl. And then Mel said, oh, so you calling me fake? Is that what you're saying? No, I just want to be clear, Martell. I just want to make sure, Martell, you're calling me fake. Okay. He says, of course you are. Girl, this man got hella disrespectful. Martell, how are you at someone else's project that they're working on? And even if it's yours, how are you out there, whether you're visiting or you're working on something, and you're allowing yourself to keep up this ruckus outside of this home? And do you wonder why other people may not want to do business with you? Like, why are you doing that? That's so disrespectful. And then you over here asking, what's his name, Fred or whatever, for a favor to use his builder's license while you work on some other projects, but you over here jeopardizing that with the antics that you over here keeping up. It's not making any sense. I don't like that. Okay. It's sad because all of this is really happening because Martell is jealous. A lot of this is happening because he's jealous, but it's like you should have thought about that before you decided to step outside of your home. Now you get what it is that you asked for. So what you mad about it for? Right? Mel, this is my question for you. Just like I asked Martell, why would you meet up with him at a construction site? Why wouldn't you just, meet him at a park or something like that? Meet him in a parking lot, have him pull up to your office. Like, why y'all couldn't go somewhere else? Why you pulled up on him in that moment? Right? So there's that, knowing what you know about Martell and that he's incapable of having adult conversations. Like, there's that. But I guess she probably felt like, bitch, you ruined my day. I'm gonna ruin your time over here working on this house. I'm gonna bring the BS. Okay. I guess, honey. Let's move on. Mel tells him that it's obvious he isn't going to respect boundaries and be respectful. So going forward, he would no, so when she said, so going forward, she was about to say something and he cut her off. Okay. He barely would let her talk. So she gets real loud with him, like, going forward. Okay. And I said, so she got like really loud with him. He didn't even really let her finish her statement. He tells her that he don't give a F about her or them ugly dudes that she messing with. And she says that I don't give a F about you or them ugly dudes you messing with. He said, well, they can keep up with you. They can compete with you. They in the same ballpark as you, Mel. You may want to be careful. And I'm like, no, they're not. They're not in the same ballpark because they're side chicks and she was a wife. Okay. So there's that. And also, if you want to say that they can compare to Mel, why would you sit up there and call them peasants? Yikes. Let's think about this. Okay. You're just so mad. You're mad and you're jealous. And it's okay. Right? Not really. It's not okay because you don't know how to handle that or manage that. Anyway, Mel tells him that the way he's acting is what she has dealt with for all of these years when it comes to like the emotional stuff. And I guess she mean maybe emotional abuse or whatever, like all of the emotional stuff. The way he's acting is stuff she's been dealing with for years. So it's like, why would she want to take him back? Like he's been asking her to be back with him. And she's like, you see how you acting? Why would I want to be back with that? Right. And so Mel tells Martell that it was embarrassing for him to walk into a restaurant where everyone knows who they are. And I'm over here looking at the screen like, well, Melody, so it's not embarrassing for y'all to be acting the way that y'all acted on national TV? Oh, okay then, girl. It wasn't connected for me, but all right, I guess. So Kimmi and her friends, right? When we get to Kimmi and her friend's house. No, before I get over to Kimmi and her friends, I wanted to say something. I was thinking about this when I was watching Mel and Martell argue. What is next season going to give? I am so glad that this season has been very long as it has been. It's been on for a few months now, and I have been enjoying it for the most part, right? But the question becomes, what is next season going to bring? What is it going to give us? Are we going to continue to see Mel and Martell arguing? Because I feel like people are getting tired of seeing y'all argue and not seeing y'all get to a place where y'all can, I guess emotionally handle the fact that y'all are not together. Also being able to understand what your triggers are as much as you think the other person should understand your triggers, and knowing how to respond when a person is trying to trigger you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just wondering, like, y'all definitely bring the drama. We enjoy to see it. But what is the next season going to bring? Will there be any growth between the both of y'all? Right? Majority of the scenes, I feel like we've seen them argue or be upset or something. And I feel like that's cool. We'll see you guys bitter, like next season, hopefully we'll see you guys bicker here and there. But what else is next season going to bring? Destiny, bring your stuff to the front. Okay, Tiffany, you definitely need to bring your stuff to the front as well. But I mean, we'll just see how it's gonna go. It made me think also when I was watching it, like, how many more seasons does Love and Marriage Huntsville have in them? Right? When so much of the show for the first 3 seasons have been heavily on Mel and Martell in some facet, right? More so, it's been all about Mel and Martell, and everybody else just extras. Okay, and we just happen to see some stuff going on, and one of the extras stepped out of line, so then Melody had to get with Miss Extra Girl and her mama. But outside of that, what else is going on? Y'all let me know y'all thoughts about that. Am I thinking about this like wrong? Do you feel like there's some more that they can offer, more that they can give? Because I'm not really seeing it. But okay. So what else do we have here? Let's see. Kimmi and her friends. So she ends up linking up with one of her good girl, Miss Patricia. Okay. Patricia comes over, they catch up. We learned that, they go way back, way back. I believe they used to live up the street from each other. She used to watch Patricia's child while Patricia watched her child. So they were really like a support system to each other. So while they're catching up, Kimmi is asked about how things are going with Monster. Kimmi says that they're working on the household duties, right? So they're trying to get that in order, but it led her to speak on Maurice being a Neanderthal with the way that he thinks. And I feel a way because when I hear that whole Neanderthal talk, what I hear is women are supposed to do this and men are supposed to do that. And I'm like, we ain't no mother Neanderthals. We're in a whole nother century, a whole nother time wave at this point. How we operated then is not how we operating now. And I'm not going to operate like that in this mother household. You know what I'm saying? And she's the only woman in the house with a bunch of men. Y'all better get the up and pitch in and do something for you. What? So I'm with Kimmi on that. But when I hear the Neanderthal, that's what comes to my head. So she says that he wants to boss everybody around. And Patricia says that she kind of calls him God or something like that. So he think he God or something she mentions it. Then Kimmi was like, yeah, you said the perfect word or whatever like that. So then Patricia suggests that they go on a honeymoon because she feels like maybe that's something that they needed with all of the tension and stuff going on, or, you know what I'm saying, not really having time for each other because all he does is work. And then you got Monster there because they're having to work around Monster's schedule. Because she suggested, Kimmi says that they do everything with Monster, but like Monster goes home like during the summertime and around Christmas time to be with his mom. So she wants to plan something at that point for them to go on a honeymoon, right? But it's kind of hard for them to organize all of that. So they're having to work on that schedule or whatnot. Now Patricia brings up Kyle and she says, girl, well, speaking of Miss Kyle, girl, we got to talk about it, right? Girl, let's get into Miss Kyle. So Kimmi says that the situation is always weird because Patricia was actually friends with Kyle and Kimmi. I said, was she now? I know that got to be awkward. I would feel awkward knowing that I was friends with this lady that was once married to this man, and now my other homegirl done hooked up with him and they dating. Girl, I would kind of feel awkward, but I guess maybe she did. Maybe it's a matter of how long you supposed to sit in that awkwardness. Because at the end of the day, if a man don't want, he just don't want. But then you still chose my friend, and it's like, okay. So let's keep going. Kimmi feels as though Patricia has always been her friend. Okay, you've been my friend for 20 years. I don't know what your relationship is over there with Miss Kyle, girl, but when it comes to me, we've been here. We see each other. You've always been my friend. Let's not forget that, right? She said, so this whole 9-month relationship thing, people been talking, cut it out. Cut it. Okay, that's what y'all can do. So Patricia says, I like Kai, but she doesn't like that Kai said that she broke girl code, right? So Patricia says, girl, you know how I feel about Kai. I like Kai cool and everything, but what I don't appreciate is how she felt as though I broke girl code, because in Patricia head, Patricia thinking like we cool, but we wasn't friends like that. Like, it's different levels, I guess, to friendships, I guess, is how Miss Patricia thinking, because she sees Kimmi as a friend, but not so much as Miss Kyle. And I'm kind of like, well, maybe Miss Kyle was an associate or an acquaintance, I guess, or maybe Miss Kyle didn't know that, honey. Let's keep it moving, girl. So she says that she didn't like that. Excuse me, y'all. She said that she didn't like how Kyle would try to say that she broke girl code when that's not actually what happened. So Kimmi says she felt like Kyle was blaming her for the failing of the marriage. And Kimmi says that, how can you blame me for the failing of y'all marriage when, girl, I didn't even know y'all. I didn't know him. I didn't know you. Y'all didn't know me. We didn't know anything about each other. And I damn sure didn't know y'all when the divorce papers were filed and signed. Like, I didn't even know you. Okay, so that's what was being said. Patricia says that she was privy. She's like, well, girl, I know you wasn't. Girl, I know you wasn't privy, but I was. Okay, I was privy to those details, and it's a bit confusing, I guess. But I don't know. That's awkward, Kimmi. Y'all gotta help me on this, because I'm looking at it like, Patricia, you knew though. You knew his situation. You knew what he had going on. How could you feel so comfortable hooking him up with another one of your good girls when it didn't work out with the other girl? I mean, maybe you knew Kyle wasn't SHI and you felt like Maurice was a good guy and Kimmi deserved a good guy, and that was Maurice. See what I'm saying? I would have felt awkward as a friend, but again, maybe Patricia had nothing to do with them linking up. It ain't like Huntsville is that huge. It's not, okay? Huntsville ain't that big. So maybe they just happened to come across each other, hooked up, and it was like by the time Patricia knew about it, it was like, oh, okay then, girl, well, I can't stop you, but listen, I'm familiar with his wife, honey. I don't know how they worked out, but y'all folks out there in Huntsville, drop down in them comments and let me know, because your girl over here like, I'm cyanide stuff. Some ain't looking right. Now, I don't think that Kimmi was a side chick at all, but I do feel like she could have been privy to, his divorce, or probably knew some details or something, because that's her good friend, right? So just knowing that, okay, this lady is friends with my friend, would I really want to date her husband? Because I'm probably gonna come across this lady, like, you know what I'm saying? The awkwardness of it all, right? So y'all help me, because I don't know. Let's keep going here. Patricia says that she was privy because Maurice was staying at her house. Okay, Patricia says when a man picks up and moves from Michigan to Huntsville, he don't want to be with you no more. Now I am with Miss Patricia on that though, and that's another thing. That's another layer, right? Kyle lived in Michigan. What are the odds of her getting down here to Huntsville to really know that he was talking to her good friend Kimmi? I guess word would have got around, but at the end of the day, now y'all friends. So yeah, no, I don't know. This is confusing for me. But yeah, he was definitely done when he decided to relocate. But you just never know with these men. Kimmi says that Kai went around telling everyone the story after she got married to a new guy. And that's what's confusing to me, because it's coming off like, girl, you still got feelings for this man. You still want to be with this man. The only reason why you married the man that you got is because you don't want to be lonely. You're sick of being lonely. And that's what you ended up doing, getting with somebody. So Kimmi says that she thinks something is still there. Kimmi addresses the rumors again and says that she was never a side chick. Okay. Kimmy's, I feel like she wasn't. I mean, he left Michigan. So I feel like she was never a side chick at all. And then she said that she didn't even know them until after the divorce. And it sounds like the friend co-signed it, but the friend was privy to everything going on in Maurice's marriage, at least for the most part, before she, let him hook up with her friend girl. But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below on that, because I'm sitting over here like, what? Jigga what? Jigga who? Anyway, Kimmi says Kai feels like she was preventing them from getting back together. No, I don't think Kimmi was preventing none of that, because the man wasn't trying to be with you no way. When he left Michigan and came down to Huntsville, he was out here thotting and bopping. Okay, now he was trifling and wrong for that, especially if he ain't getting no divorce. He was out here just out here, I want to say sowing his royal oats, but they was already sown when he got with you. You know what I'm saying? By the time he got married, but he was out here just thotting and bopping, honey. So I feel like Maurice was in a way of you guys getting back together, because that's not where it is that he wanted to be. There's that. Okay. Patricia says that she didn't like that they were slandering Kimmi's name. Okay. Calling her a side chick, saying different things about her. Kimmi says even if she did, Kimmi would ask Maurice, like, why won't you say anything? Like, say something to her. Like, even when the girl was going out there talking all kind of mad stuff about her, I think Kylie would even talk mess about her with one of their brothers or something. So it's like, you see this lady talking about me, I need you to address this, right? Being the fiance that you are. So she says that he was like, it's like, why respond? Like, we don't even care. Like, what she's saying ain't true. Like, why even respond to it? Like, don't worry. She was like, well, I care about it because it's my character. And all I saw when she said that was Marsau. That's what I saw. I'm like, oh, they are so much more alike than what we really see, or what we were led to see earlier when the show first started. Right. And I'm talking about back in season 1. They are so much alike. Like, why not address that? I don't understand that. You're supposed to protect your wife and stick up for your wife. If something wrong and they lie, it didn't say that. I guess that was the start of him just not hearing her, not listening to her, not caring about how she feels about this situation. But okay. So in many situations to follow, she told him that she cares because it's about her character. Patricia asked if Tisha had her back at the time, right? Kimmi says no. She says, and we're still at odds. She said we were odds at that time because of the issues that she had with Mel, and how she felt like she wasn't supported by me. But now her and Mel are friends, but me and her still on the outs. Like, what is that about? I'm like, girl, I don't know, child. I don't know. What else? Kimmi tells her about the group chat and how, Tisha reached out regarding them being sponsors for her event, her Destiny race, and how she didn't even respond to the messages and was like, good girl should have just called me. And Patricia was thinking, like a lot of other people were like, okay, well then why didn't you just respond to the text message? Like, you could have just responded. That would have cleared a lot of stuff up. And then Kimmi said, girl, I was just being petty. Okay, I was just being petty because I felt like Tisha already know how this goes with her. She always picks up the phone. She always calls me. So Kimmi just felt like, girl, I'm not gonna, sit up here and play with you. You already know how we operate. You know that you should call me because that's what you always do. Why you want to put me in a group chat with these ladies now all of a sudden? Like, no, it's because she's in her feelings and Kimmi didn't like it. But I guess I still feel like, Kimmi, girl, you could have just, hit the girl up, call the phone or whatever like that, girl. Everything would have been great. Would have been cool, girl. All right. So, what else ended up happening? Patricia wants her to bury the hatchet, right? Kimmi at this point is cool on Tisha, but Patricia wants her to bury the hatchet by figuring out the issue from Tisha's point of view. Like, go back, talk to her, and really hear what it is that she's saying, right? Kimmi says that she doesn't know if she can be the person that she wants her to be. When Kimmi said that, I felt her so hard on that. I just felt her. I felt her hard. I felt hard on that. Like, because it took me back to a past situation that I had. And it's like, girl, I'm not going to be able to be to you who you want me to be to you, girl. It's just not, it's not giving, especially if you feel like it's a one-sided friendship. Like, girl, I'm cool on it, girl. I promise I'm cool. Go ahead on, right? But also I feel like, Kimmi, if you feel like you're not going to be able to be who you want to, who she wants you to be, then I feel like some of the stuff that she do, you can't make a big deal out of it. You got to just be able to let it go and understand that this Tisha, this how she operate, girl, whatever. I'm not responding. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really think it's like, I guess, that bad to not respond to her, you know, but I do feel like Kimmi could made that like a bigger deal than what it had to be, because you could have just responded and could have been like, well, Tisha, you could just call me. Like, you could have said that in the message or something. I don't know. But moving forward, if she operates in a manner that you don't like, you probably got to just go with the flow of that, considering the fact that, number one, y'all got to film together, even if y'all don't talk like that. Y'all got to film together. And number two, it's understood that y'all ain't going to really be close like that no time soon. So it's like, all right, yeah, whatever. Okay, if that's how you want to do it, then I'm going to move how you trying to move. And that's just that on that. What else we got? Tisha and Marsau. So he done surprised her with a couple at the house. And she's like, who the hell is this? Hilarious. So he brought in a financial couple to have a conversation with them. They're like money experts, right? Kirsten and Julian. Tisha, to me, whenever she being fake, for real, her voice gets so high pitched. So high. Oh, hi. Hello. I was like, oh my God, girl, it's getting more and more annoying, honey. More and more annoying. So then Tisha, so then the couple, okay, like I said, they got the money experts or whatever. They wanted to know more about Tisha them, right? Like, tell me about you guys. And Tisha tells them that, okay, let's jump right on into spending. I spend a lot of money because I spend money for me and my children. Marsau says that she wants the truck. No, Marsau says that she wants the truck. So I believe she goes and gets it or whatever like that. And he got a truck and says that it was for business. So I guess she wanted a vehicle or whatever, and she went and got it because that's what she wanted. But then at the same time, when he go and get a truck, it's for business. See, I don't like that about Marsau. I feel like Marsau can make excuses for why somebody else can't have anything, but have perfect excuses as to why it's okay for him to do it. I don't like that. So Tisha says that she saves for the things that she wants, whereas he is irresponsible because when his first work truck went down, it was like the transmission. She said it would have been cheaper for him to just get the damn thing fixed. But instead of him doing that, he decided to go out and get a whole nother truck, right? I agree with that. Like, you didn't have to get a whole nother truck. You could have just got it fixed. It would have probably ran you maybe $2,000 or something like that. Like, it would have ran you a little something. Now you done added another expense to you added another expense to the business because you probably gonna have to pay on that car or whatever. So I ain't really like that too much. And maybe it could have just been a conversation, like Tisha said, just have a conversation with me and then we'll know how we want to move after that. So Tisha thinks Marsau makes irrational decisions with money because he makes the money. And Marsau doesn't like that she said that, because he's like, girl, don't act like that when you know a good percentage of my check goes into your account. And Tisha says, no, I just don't like that you make decisions without including me, which he always does. Marsau says that he works so hard to not have his family in poverty. And we learned that Tisha, and what it sounds like that I captured from them talking, is that Tisha was one of the families that had, as ghetto as they may be, Tisha was a family that had, right? Whereas it sounded like Marsau was a family that didn't have. So she was a have and he was a have not. For him to sit up there and try and talk as though she came from a different side of the tracks. I don't know. Y'all clear that up for me, because that's what I captured from that. Because a lot of how Marsau moves is operated and triggered based on his experiences as a child and not having things, right? But you had family though. So what was that like? Were you not around with your family as like when you were younger because you were so busy trying to make money, and now it's spilled over into your adulthood life because you're working so hard to make sure your family doesn't fall into poverty, but you're not, it don't seem like he's really building connections and memories and things with his family and his children. You know what I'm saying? So something's a little off about that. But what else? Tisha don't walk these folks into her bedrooms to show them all the makeup and stuff she done bought. I'm sorry, you're not coming into I don't give a damn what kind of experts you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna come into my room. I'll bring it out to you, or I'll explain it to you. This woman should understand makeup can be very expensive. Just for a foundation could be $50 or more. So if you want a good one, like, yeah. All right. Or you can get the drugstore, where, you know, it could be much cheaper and you probably could achieve the same results. But it's like, I'm not gonna walk you up there so you can see that. No, I'm not gonna do that. Like, girl, you got these folks all in your bedroom talking. I said, No, ma'am. And then talk about some sorry, excuse the bad. Marso didn't make it up, girl. They wouldn't have had to see it because they would have never came in there. The living room wasn't enough. Why is you giving these people a tour? You don't know these folks. Anyway, girl. So after this, Tisha felt like, oh, well, let's go outside and see the car since he got a new car. Like, let's go out there and see a car because he got a new car for his 40th birthday. That he done went and bought a truck, right? So the guy was like, the expert was like, okay, Julian said, yeah, it's only right. When it came up and seen the makeup, let's go out and see the cars, right? So they go out, see the cars or whatever. What I have an issue with is Marso trying to compare his expensive ass vehicles to purses and makeup. I'm like, that's probably gonna run her maybe $500, right? On probably maybe some makeup. I don't know what all she buy. I'm just running it up to maybe 500. I don't know. And skincare routine or whatever, possibly. Right. So not including facials and stuff, but just the makeup. So you got that. And then what else? She got purses. Okay, maybe her purses may be 500, maybe 1,000, 2,000. I just don't see her stuff going over $5,000. Okay, in total. But you done went and got a whole nother car that's probably over $30,000, and then you went and got another truck that's probably over $30,000. Don't compare those two things. And Tisha probably bought those things off a credit card that could be easily paid down. You done went and got a whole loan. I don't know. That's my, he could have bought both of those vehicles outright and probably has no payment. Right. And if that's the case, then what we really, what I'm saying? We really shouldn't be talking because these are her expenses and she could pay it off. It still don't compare to how much your cars and your vehicles were. So I ain't like that. Tisha, the couple tells them like, listen, the real issue that y'all have, it don't really seem like it's more so the finances. It's just y'all communication. Like that's what's trash. So, they're gonna sit down and actually have a meeting and work on actually, talking to each other about things as they go forward. We'll see how that's gonna work out. I don't see it actually being something that's consistent. Marso doesn't strike me as a man that's consistent when it comes to stuff like that. So we'll see how that works out, honey. Good luck. And let's go ahead and move on to Destiny. And this luncheon she had, because she ended up having some type of or brunching or whatever she had, like a beauty and business thing going on. So she struggled to pull it together, she said, due to the date changes. But she did thank Tisha for her chocolate champagne, and she also shouted out Kimmi because Kimmy's a nurse. So she went around shouting out everybody that was in the building. And I'm sure she shouted out Mel as well. They just didn't show us that part. Okay, so then Mel, when she sits down, Tisha tells her again, like, girl, thank you. I'm sorry. Destiny tells Tisha again, thank you again for, the champagne. And then Mel said, yeah, I didn't get a sponsorship letter or whatever. I know that you sent one over there to my good girl, but you didn't send one to me. So what was that about? And then Destiny said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I dropped the ball or whatever. That's all on me. And then Mel tells her, well, oh yeah, so Destiny says that me dropping the ball was all on me, but I also wasn't sure if you were gonna come because you didn't come to the last thing, right? So I'm just like, well, at the end of the day, don't drop the ball and then pick the ball up and try and put all that weight over here on me. Talk about you didn't know if I was gonna show up. What? At the end of the day, all you had to do was ask, girl. You still should have, sent me the sponsorship or something. If you dropped the ball, let's leave it right there. So Destiny says that, Mel tells her, well, that's one thing about friends. Whenever you do drop the ball, they should be there to help you pick it up. So she give her a check, right? She said, no, I'm going to go ahead and give you a check because I'm a gold sponsor or something like that. She said, but don't let that happen again. I was like, come on, Mel, over here being a real friend. A real true friend. We're gonna see how that friendship go when y'all had this conversation at the all-white party. I will say, just from the previews of looking at next week, as much as Destiny may get on my nerves and she may not share as much information, I don't want to see Mel dismiss how she feels. But I'm going to have to see how everything plays out, because the first thought that came to my mind is like, why are you always trying to dismiss how this woman feels or downplay how she feels or discredit? You know what I'm saying? Or like as if it ain't nothing, or if it's not like a big deal or anything. What's that about, right? So we'll just have to see how the whole scene plays out to see, how that works out. But anyway, Tisha, speaking of sponsorships, she thought this would be a great time for her to bring up the sponsorships, honey. So she decides to bring up the sponsorships and how she didn't get Mel and Destiny's check. And Mel is confused because she's like, girl, my person didn't get you a check. So my person didn't show up and give you a check. And I'm like, Mel, now you know well whether or not your person when they gave that girl a check. Okay. Whatever that's supposed to mean. My person didn't give you a check, girl, you know. So then Kimmi asked, well, did you get our check? And then Tisha was already dismissive of Kimmi. She was like, yeah, I was gonna talk about that. Yeah, I was getting to that. I did get your check. Okay. I'm like, well, all you had to do was say yes. Why you did the most? Well, girl, just that. Well, yeah, I got your check. Like, anyway, Kimmi says now after she said now after I was thrown under the bus and all, and Tisha says, but you still didn't reply to the message though. But you still got the check though. Okay, yeah, I may not have responded to the message, but you still got the check though. So what you talking about, Tisha? Which one do you want? Do you want the check or you wanted the text message? And then Tisha said, both. I'm like, Tisha, number one, is tired of Kimmi. Tired of her. Do you hear me? The way she got back smart with this lady. Right? They really tired of each other, honestly. But I did feel Kimmi on that when Kimmi was like, but girl, you got the check though. So why? Okay. But I do feel like Tisha only gave Kimmi what Kimmi gave Tisha when Kimmi asked her, like, did you get my check? And Tisha said, yeah, I did get your check. She said, okay. After I was thrown under the bus and everything, I still sent the check, right? So that's what she was getting at. So then Tisha got back smart with her. So there's that. Tisha says that Mel has called her a side chick. So this is when, yeah. Tisha goes and says this in the confessional. Tisha says that Mel has called her a side chick and everything, and Kimmi never says anything, but stay petty when it comes to her. I was like, ooh, I think Mel could have said something sleek in the confessional like that. I think she could have. Tisha felt like Kimmi jumped into a combo that has nothing to do with her. And I'm like, but Tisha, you brought this up. What the fuck you talking about? This lady jumped into a combo. You start talking about sponsorships. It's only right for somebody to say, did you get my sponsorship? Because you was just sitting up here clowning her in a conversation about her, or not so much as clowning her, but you definitely brought up the fact that she didn't respond to the message regarding the sponsorship. So now she's asking, she sent one. Even after y'all had a disagreement or whatever, she still made sure she sent one. You brought up the conversation. So if you brought up the conversation, then I feel like it's only right for her to ask, well, did you get ours? Did you get mine? I guess, girl. Anyway, so we get to Tisha. Tisha asks Tiffany, like, girl, you want to pull off to the side? Let's go have a conversation. And she's like, yeah, girl, let's go do it. So they go talk. Tisha talks with Tiffany and says she doesn't know anything negative about her. I feel like the wording is wrong. Just like y'all like to say Tiffany's timing is wrong, Tisha, your wording be wrong, okay? You could have just asked her, like, hey, I don't know much about you. I want to take this time out to really get to know you because I don't know anything beyond the surface about you. Right? So that's all you had to say. And she would have told you the good, the bad, the ugly, I'm sure. So Tiffany says that she cheated. So it was an awkward conversation because you said you didn't know nothing negative about her. So she immediately jumped to the fact, okay, well, I can tell you I cheated. That's what I did. Like, I guess. Tiffany talked about she cheated. She said that she cheated on her ex when she was back in high school. She said she still considers that being a cheater. And Tisha was like, girl, anything that happened before marriage don't even count. Like, it don't even count. So Tiffany tries to explain herself and at least explain why one would be cheating. She feels like if somebody's cheating, there must be like a serious issue. There has to be like a reason as to why they're doing this. She says she cheated because she wanted more from him and didn't want to go in detail because he passed. But what was confusing to me is, Tiffany, you look like you in your late 30s, dear, maybe top 40s, right? You don't look that young at all. Your fashion show that as well. So with you being older, why are we talking about something that happened before high school? Or while you were in high school before you were married. Like, that's not even making any sense. And then for you to say that you wanted more, I mean, all 18-year-olds, all teenagers and stuff be wanting more. And a lot of times don't even be knowing what the hell they be wanting at the time. For real, aside from what they see going on with other folks, oh, I want that lifestyle too, or I want that too. They don't really have an idea of what it is they really, really want for themselves, not all of them. So that's not even making any sense. So I did not like that. I didn't like that. Tiffany talked about how she wanted money and a better life for her child. I think she was a teen mom, but I thought she had her child at like 18 or something like that. I don't know what Tiffany was talking about. Tisha says that Tiffany is not being transparent. And I said she's not. And not only is she not being transparent, she's not making any fucking sense. Did anybody get what Tiffany was saying? Because it didn't make sense. If you're talking about your cheating or what happened in your past relationship, why are you talking about what happened before high school? What happened in your past relationship, in your marriage prior to the man you're married to now? What happened? Let us know about that. That's what we want to talk about. Anyway, Tiffany gives, later on we can see where Destiny, the ladies go back to the table. I guess Tisha realized I'm not going to get nowhere with this lady. I'm not going to get nowhere with her. So let me just go ahead, count my losses, girl, and going back to this table. So Destiny decided that she was going to give away some trips. She gave away some trips, and one of those trips went away to Kimmi because Kimmi has yet to go on a honeymoon. So I thought that was really nice of Destiny, especially considering the fact that, girl, you know Mel much longer than you've known Kimmi. But you've taken so much of a liking to Kimmi lately that you decided to sponsor her honeymoon. Shocking. Okay, let me find out you're trying to replace Mel with Kimmi. Anyway, Destiny also goes on to reveal her cover for Hype Hair. So that was cute. So congrats to Destiny on that. All right, what else is going on? Kimmi and Maurice. So he decorates this hotel for her, which was really cute, really nice. Okay, shout out to him. Okay, I don't know who helped him with that, but they did a good job, you know. So he brought her up to this hotel, or I guess it was a hotel, or to this empty apartment, child. Brought her up there, sat her down, you know, chit-chatted. It was so awkward when Kimmi walked in. I couldn't tell if Kimmi was truly happy. It was like she was happy, but I couldn't tell because it was like she was preventing herself from being completely happy, like overall happy. She came in the room on some, oh, this is nice, as if like it was a situation like, well, what's the catch? Like that's how she approached. She came in the room. I thought it was just gonna be, oh, this is beautiful, baby. You thought of me, and you know, throw her arms around and hug them or whatever like that. She came in like, oh, yay, me. Okay. This is nice, right? Like she came in there like he had a hidden agenda. Like, okay, what's gonna happen? Like, what's going on? So as they're sitting down, chit-chatting, talking, he lets her know that he talked with Dr. Francis. And with that talk that he had with Dr. Francis, he learned that he has 2 wives. And she was like, you got what? And he said, you know, business being one thing and you being my wife as another, right? So I haven't really given you the time that I should be giving to you. And she was like, oh, well, come on, Dr. Francis. I may need to go to Dr. Francis too, because everybody going to Dr. Francis, honey. All right. So he lets her know that that's something he's going to be working on moving forward, which is spending more time with his wife. In addition to that, he also said, gives her a photo, right? Gives her a photo of like a beach or whatever. And that's where he plans on taking her. He wants to take her on a honeymoon because she was like, oh, we're taking a trip. Who all going? And he was like, who all going for our honeymoon? And she was like, oh, this is our honeymoon or whatever. So, she did get emotional in that moment. She tried to hide her face, but you could tell that, you know, it overwhelmed her because they've been married for like 3 years now. And she has yet to go on the honeymoon. I mean, even when we interviewed her, that was one of the questions that I had for her. Like, have y'all going on the honeymoon yet? And what would your ideal honeymoon be like? And they didn't go on that yet. And it sounds like the trip that he was willing to give her was like the ideal one that she would want. I think she just really wanted to have that private, separate getaway with just her and her man, period. I just hope that it's kind of like televised. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's like filmed on TV. Like if they go away for the honeymoon, I would like to see it caught on film. But I also wouldn't mind, because you know you can't have the whole honeymoon with just them and not bring the crew. So what I would like to see for the honeymoon, Carlos, hear me. Okay, maybe they could do like a 2-week honeymoon over the summer or something, or whenever they get that break, right? Maybe for Christmas, since Monster gonna be with his mama, and do that the first 7 days with just them. Right? The first 7 days, the trip that, you know, he paid for, it'll just be all exclusive, just focused on them. And then the next week, then maybe bring in everybody for the one that Destiny has. The one that Destiny purchased for them, possibly. Now, I could not be away from my home for 14 days. on no trip, right? So they'll have to figure that out. I mean, they could split it up. Like, even if they did, okay, the first 5 days y'all are on a trip together, and then the last 2 days we're gonna bring in the crew, or the last 3 days we're gonna bring in the crew, okay, and surprise them. And then save that trip for another time, because at this point, it's been 3 years since they've gone on a honeymoon. They deserve to have two. Okay, so y'all take one in the around the Christmas time, and then turn around and take another one around what's that, summertime. So I'm here for it, but I just would like to see, you know, on one of those trips where y'all bring in the crew. Okay, so what else ended up happening? That was it. You know, what's his name? Maurice was just shocked that Destiny just now coming into the picture as a friend, and decided to go ahead and give Kimmi with a trip, which was interesting, which was shocking. She wanted to do that for her. That was cute. But I also thought it was funny that the time that he finally decides to settle down to make sure that he gives her what it is that she wants, somebody else still beat him to the punch, which happened to be Destiny. So that was very, 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 very funny. But that's all I got, y'all. That's all I have for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Okay. Yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie That's Me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.